Hello, everybody. Now this is, I planned on doing something today, and then I was like, oh no, I don't have enough time to do it today. But I found a little bit of time. Now the bad thing is, I have to be on my way to my girlfriend's band concerts. Starting around like an hour and a half from now. So we're going to try to get through as many of these as we can, but not guaranteed to finish today. But I will try my best. Alright, we looked at Hexon last time. Also, I figured out why my FPS has been dropping. I cannot handle doing 2 windows at once on OBS. Especially a screen capture window for like longer than like an hour. So we really have to tough it through. Alright, if you wanted a reminder of what the tier list looks like, here is our list. Now, Hexon is the last one we placed. It got put in around excellent. So we have fantastic, excellent, good, and the tiers for levels that really feel like they're lacking in a lot. The fantastic tiers for levels that are like, OMG, this is so creative, well done, and crazy. Personally, I think some of these maybe should be bumped. We'll talk about that at the end, potentially, though, if you remember those levels. But yeah, I thought we'd stop by just playing through Hexon without the FPS drops, so here we go. What type of 1.0 level are I looking to do? I'm always a fan of themed 1.0 levels. Yeah, this level has crazy good sync, and it's also got some awesome designs for the project. Well, there's some Halloween iconography. Oh, I'm not sharing GD. Whoops. Sorry about that. Got some creative designs here. This is like just an overall great Neo classic. Ooh, fake pad there. Nice floor transition. Nothing wrong with coins. Coins are allowed for this. King K reviews over all the levels and fixes them up. He's fine with coins, so. Yeah, that's put into our excellent tier pretty high into it. That's an excellent example of what we're looking for that. So let's move on to actually looking at some of these other ones. We're going to give my initial thoughts, and then you are all free to add to it. In fact, I highly encourage it. This level is by Turkey Borger. They're a person who has frequented the 1.0 Discord. Alright, here we go. I am streaming this. Perfect. Pretty simple designs. I like the L-shaped stuff. At the moment, there's not a whole lot of sink. And filling that in with 1.0 blocks looks really weird considering the ones on the top aren't. Because those are filled in normally. Not a huge fan of that. Yeah, this part's pretty nice. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the heavy use of 1.0, of the standard 1.0 block. Yeah, solid level. I'm gonna pop on over to here for now. So that is Hello Video Game or something. Yes, Hello Video Game. Alright, where do we put Hello Video Game? I'm personally thinking it's kind of mid. I think I like mid good. Maybe put it right below orange. Yeah, so remember, good. These are all like good levels for the event. This is more of just my personal opinion, plus y'all's collaborative opinion. I think this level is solid in what it wants to do. I think there's maybe a couple things that could have been done a little better. Hello, Deadly Blockman. I'd put it there. What do we think as a collective? Do we agree with that opinion? I know some of us from yesterday might be able to tune in a little bit better with that. I know MLK is saying mid. Anyone else have any thoughts on where that level should place? If not, I'm just going to leave it there. You think that's an excellent? I don't think it does enough to be excellent. A lot of the excellents have an attempt at integration of designs and extremely good pulse sync. I don't think that does enough to warrant it into the excellent tier. Good tier is kind of like it's a solid classic 1.0 with maybe some added ideas, some experimentation with pulsing. So I'm thinking kind of this mid-good area. So I respectfully disagree on the excellence claim. Okay. That was Hello Video Game by Turkey Burger. Moving on to Leafwood Forest. This is by Alex Birder. I see you're in chat. Fair, Deadly Blockman. Okay. So, here is Leafwood Forest. Already seen some design experimentation. We got some cool pulsing. Now, I do think the structuring in this is not all that great. There's also a lot of use of the default block, which I personally don't like, but I don't know. Things are like, I see an attempt at incorporation, but not everything's like incorporated the best. This is still pretty solid. Got some nice ideas. I think it's more of just an execution thing. But for a level in the project, this is great. That's the other thing. We're kind of just pulsing to the same color scheme the entire time. I think branching out a little bit more could be interesting, at least including like a secondary color other than green. Interesting pads here. I always like to put pads on the other side just to keep it clean. But no, these pad particle sections are really nice. That's a decent level. Now the question is, where do we put it? This is Leafwood Forest. I should not use my scroll bar when I'm on the screen. So let me move it up here so we can see. I'm leaning between, I think it might be good, excellent, edge. You're thinking above the Blast Processing remake. I can see that. I'm a little hesitant with the execution. I thought execution could have been a little better. But if we're thinking low Hexon, I'd put it above Blast Processing. It's got creative ideas. I know Alex can't necessarily vote here, but... Have a good time, GTOK, Lil New. I don't know how to say your name, but thanks for joining the stream. I'd say that's maybe a good placement for it. There's no other objections. We're going to put it in our low excellent. Alright, I was hoping King K might be able to join us, but I don't know if that would work. For him. He talked about having time for it, but... Yeah, I agree with Pred. I think just having it be fully green kind of takes away from the potential of the ideas in the level. But I also understand why you went fully green. So. Alright, this is level 29. My second submission to the community project, Drillin. This was also sent a few times. This is not an event level, by the way. Decisions was the second event level. We'll reach that soon. I know NLK is a little biased towards me, but... Alright, here it is. I invented a new gameplay concept. And here's all the drills. I'm very proud of the sync I was able to do on this. And these are supposed to be like saws sliding along their tracks. Kind of representing motion without having motion. So yeah, that's my level. I'm not going to say where I would place this. I want y'all to decide. I will say I'm quite proud of that level. I think I represented the song perfectly. I know NLK is going to say fantastic. I'm curious what the other people in chat want to say. That's a fair assumption, Deadly Blockman. Where is it? There it is. Grab that. Not putting it down there. But... My inclination is somewhere around here. I think it's really up to what y'all decide. It's really fun to play. Gameplay is good. Yeah, I was also kind of proud of the gameplay on that one. I know it's really fun. Let me say, the gimmick was an annoying thing to make sure that it worked, because depending if you hit an orb weirdly, it could kill you in the gimmick. I spent so long trying to fix that gimmick. Looks amazing. You would say mid-excellent, Alex. Any reason why you'd say mid-excellent? They've been saying below bouncy green ball. I think that's entirely up to debate and okay, but Alright, so I have 1 vote for below, 1 vote for above, 1 vote for middle excellence. Anyone else want to chime in with their thoughts? Where should we place? Well, okay, I understand you're excited, but make sure our opinions don't get too fiery. I wouldn't say it's better than like some of the other ones in the tier. Above excellent. Okay. Well, I'll just put it right here. I feel kind of bad. That's just my levels in fantastic. I don't. I feel really weird putting my levels above the rest of them. Okay, we'll sort it out later. Let's move on to the next one, decisions. I did kind of go a bit hardcore on these. I can't help myself sometimes. Okay, so what's important to know about this one, this is the biggest 1.0 choose path level ever. There's over 120 ways to complete. There's 3 elite paths that get you coins. Already, I'm inclining towards saying fantastic, but let's take a look. Yeah, already we're getting some really neat designs there. Getting some decision making here. You know, for how many paths it has, this is really well designed. And that's the other thing. Part of the path, the 120 possible ways to pass it, is because the paths, you can land onto other paths. It's pretty much an open world level. And the paths are all pretty fair, except for, I mean, the coin paths, but those are meant to be difficult. You can just really make your own route here. Yeah, this is such a good level. I'm actually shocked no one has sent this yet. This is such a cool project. I fully understand, Alex. Your opinion is valid. Okay, my opinion, this is easily the top of the list. I need to screw up a little bit. I think this just trumps everything else. That deserves to be at the top. It's one of those levels you can just play an infinite amount of times. What's everyone's else opinions on it? Do you think it deserves the first top place? Yeah, you never will get bored of this. In fact, I know some people might watch this back to see some of the levels. If you want to send any level from this project, you should send decisions. The fact that it's not got a send yet is crazy, because it's genuinely one of the best levels in the project. At least in my opinion. And okay, where would you put this? I know you said easy, fantastic. Do you think it deserves first? Top of fantastic, yeah. about I'm Battable and Alex, you also think top of fantastic for that one. Yeah, I also like that it tried different things. There's so many cool routes there. If we were splitting these up into eras, I'd consider like the Zizsions to be the end of like the discovery era of the project. This becomes more of like the experimental era because we get a lot of interesting levels in terms of like length and names and ideas. We'll see some of that. Moving on to Balancer. This is a level built by King K64X, kind of kicking off the after 30. The reason it's not lagging Daily Blockman is because I'm still early in the stream. When I get to like the hour and a half mark, it's gonna start lagging really bad. It's just because my computer can't handle both of these things at the same time. All right, let's try Balancer. It's by King K64X, kind of kicking off after the 30th level here. I think y'all can kind of see why I wanted to do this stream originally after 30 levels, because Decisions is such a great end to like that segment of the project. But after 50 also works very well. We got a lot more fantastic levels coming, I'll tell you that. Got some good sync here. That's pretty good. Does what it needs to do. Doesn't try anything like groundbreaking. But this is a solid level for the project. But I like that transition to sync a bit more. Okay, now this is different. Haven't seen many people try designs like this with just spikes. That is a unique aspect for it. Doesn't last that long. No, gameplay's solid. It's just really fun to play. Nice. Yeah, I also think this might be an up or good NLK. That was my initial thoughts. Billy Bachman thinks excellent, but I do think it's a bit simple for excellent. Let's see, which one was this? This was Balancer. I need to move it. I was personally thinking, I don't know if it was as, because Insomnia Dreams was really efficient. First level contests and all of that. But I actually like Balancer better than Land of Forget, I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm gonna put it right behind Insomnia Dreams. Land of Forget does do a lot of cool block design stuff, but it's also really hard. And I don't think it's meant to be that hard is the problem, so. Yeah, we're gonna go there. Hey, Nostalgian, we're just ranking more here, trying to get through it before I have to leave for my girlfriend's concert. I'm gonna put it there. I think that's a good spot for that. That was level 31. 32 is Hello There by Curlian. It's a crime that General Kenobi is not the top column. Hold on. Let's like that. Star Wars reference. Hang on, y'all. I have my girlfriend's calling me. Give me 1 sec. Sorry about that, y'all. My girlfriend was talking to me because she had to go like 2 hours before the concert began for a dress rehearsal, and she's wearing heels, so it's really annoying on her feet right now. Okay, well, let's play through Hello There. It's a banger song. Pretty simple, classic 1.0, but don't see a whole lot going on background-wise. Ooh, I fell for that hard. Even so, though, this is a solid project level so far. Pretty fun level too. Contest 2 results, I haven't even began the video for, so it's going to be a little bit. I have a lot of stuff going on. Let's place it. Okay, hello there. Definitely one of the simpler designed levels. That being said, it does have really fun gameplay. So part of me is thinking we put it in the good tier. I think Rainbow Road had more creativity to it. I might put it here. I do really like it. Mid good, maybe. I think some of these other things is that they've got like interesting designs. I don't think I'd put it above Hello Video Game. Maybe put it right next to it though. It's probably not really harder. It's just what people gave it in game. So yeah, I'm gonna put it here right next. We're gonna do a Hello Video Game, Hello There neighboring situation here. So yeah. That's what our tier list is looking like so far. Let me pull back up Geometry Dash. Fear of Change. Notice the length. This is one of the short levels that was just submitted. It's by Balzac 08. I'm not familiar with them. But we'll take a look at this. Did I download the song? I did. It's just really quiet. I'm getting progression level vibes from this beginning. Yeah, we're like in a desert. That's some really cool designs. The other designs I'm not a huge fan of. Well, that's it. That's really short. That's like unnecessarily short. We got some cool designs, not so cool block designs. The length, I think, is what we have to debate, because if it was like that all the way through, I could see an argument for excellent. But since it's only that length, I could also see an argument for top of eh, because there's not a lot of stuff there. So we're thinking low good. I might just put it at the bottom of good, to be honest. Unless y'all have a better placement. Well, I could also see being above Stay Inside Me. That one's really simple. How do I feel about this spot? Yeah, Classy Jello, if you join my Discord, you can submit levels to the account. Yeah. I'm of the opinion that levels this short shouldn't be in the 1.0 community's account, but I can also understand the argument that it's just an account for uploading 1.0. So I'm a little indifferent to it. I'm leaning towards I'd rather see mediums at the very least. And God forbid we see a tiny. That'd be really weird. Alright. Seeing some shares and saying that that's a good spot, so we're going to leave it there and keep moving on. We do have another short coming up, which is going to be interesting. Now I have a medium, Call to Adventure by Hogs Object, or Hoags Object. I'm not familiar with them, but let's take a look. It's a Kevin MacLeod song. Okay. Don't like the orb chain immediately, but this is cool. Yeah, if you're gonna do the orb chain, you should add some stuff below, just not have an empty space. Okay, that's two people shooting each other. Interesting. There's some really creative ideas here. My only concern is the execution's not the best. But this is some really nice designs. Definitely something we haven't really seen in the project either. They're firing lasers. Oh, we cut right through them. G Fun Life, you join my Discord and then you can submit a level into the community projects. The 1.0 community project. It's hosted by King K. Yeah, there's really creative ideas here. This is probably the strangest level in the project, I'm gonna be honest. This level's bizarre. Actually, I really like how it syncs to the music. I didn't really notice that much. You can't color the ground spikes. No, unbattable. The ground spike block is your player 1 color. That's the deco spike. You can color that. You can't color anything else. Or you can't even color that. Everything's on the default color. So for the decoration, that is default color. Alright, this is a weird one to place. I fully agree. I do think it does an excellent job of what it wants to do. Where in excellent it goes, I do not know. So, where do we think? NLK said low good? High good? Oh, am I being too lenient? I thought it was an excellent level. It was a bit, execution-wise wasn't great, but I think it's better than blast processing. Well, maybe not. Yeah, I'm gonna put it right above blast processing. We'll put it there. I do think execution-wise it could have done a better job, but I do like the creativity it has. Alright. Next up is Dune. Let me turn this off so we can see. This was built by Floofy42. This is the sequel to Oasis. Level 35 in the contest. Now, we put Oasis at... Where did Oasis go? Yeah, an excellent. Kind of the top, upper excellent. So we shall see where this one goes. Got similar design schemes to Oasis. Feels a bit on the empty side still, I don't know. Those filled in spike sections are nice. Oh, I think the reason it's feeling empty is they don't have a whole lot of, like, player color decoration. Maybe. Almost feel like we need to play back through Oasis for a comparison. Ooh, that was a nice sync there. Whoa, 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 whoa. Those aren't 1.0 blocks. Oh, wait, no, they are. Sorry. False alarm. I think it's 2. Yeah, it's slightly elongated. Those are 2. Oh, see ya, Deadly Blockman. Those are 2 of the three-sided ones put together. Oh, I had a heart attack there. Gameplay's a blast here. That's really fun. I don't think there was a secret way. I imagine it's all patched up. But let's talk about where we would put this. That was really fun. So my first instinct is right above Oasis. Maybe some pulses at the drop. I could see that. I'm thinking right around its predecessor, because it is very similar to it. I might put it below because Oasis brought something new. Dune kind of feels like a rehash of Oasis with like a better gameplay. Put it right there. Yeah, it's kind of the upper mid excellent. Alright, any other thoughts on that before I move on? Trying to cook through these remainder of the levels. Hey, no other comments? We're going to move on to Pump Up the Vibe. It's created by Kinda Expert, their second level to the contest. This was originally called Oh Hi There Jocelyn. King K wanted him to rename it to Pump Up the Vibe. Now, this one has some song cuts, which is allowed. Using Song Trigger to cut the song is allowed. It's also really hard to do song cuts well, though. As someone who has cut songs before, let's take a look. Check it out. I also love this song, by the way. Simple designs, but good sync. That's a fine song cut right there. So far, the song cuts are fine. Okay, that one was not good. Did we hear how that song cut happens? It cuts out like an entire beat. Don't like that song cut. That one was also not good. Could you hear that? The saxophones played a whatnot and then cut to a random part of the song. Yeah, that's also giving pretty heavy Can't Let Go vibes. So, because of the song cuts, I am personally thinking low good. Pulsing is actually really cool. Gameplay is fun. It's very reminiscent of Can't Let Go, though. And the song cuts are kind of inexcusable. So I'm thinking about, like, here-ish. You're thinking top of I think it does enough gameplay-wise and pulse-wise to avoid Although, I don't... Like, the song cuts kind of... I'm just going to put it maybe at the bottom of good. The song cuts are really bothersome. I definitely preferred their other level. I think it was Bionic Button. It's up here. Yeah, it's at top of excellent. Kind of a wide range there. Alright, and we don't have any other comments there. I'm going to move on to the next project. If the song cuts were actually, like, really banger, I could see that becoming, like, upper good. I don't think it's excellent. I don't think there's enough designs and like other interesting stuff. So terrible splicing, I know. Yeah, the splicing was not awesome. But okay, we're gonna move on. This is Skyline. It is by LVLCGD. I do not know who this is. So, and apparently uses P2 color in 1.0. Ooh, that's not looking good. Let's take a look. Okay, so far, not a huge fan of the designs personally. They feel very flat structure-wise. Quite a bit of empty space, too. They are filling in some of it, which is nice. That up is a nice addition. Nice subtle pulses to the beat. Yeah. Works really well as a project or a contribution to this project. This section I actually really like. I like the symmetrical feeling. That's a really nice effect. Okay. So far, not seeing any of the P2 colored stuff. That might have been updated. Oh, no, it wasn't. Why would you do that? No! No! You're allowed to do free rotate for this project. There's no restriction on rotation because it was possible through 1.0 file editing. That is fully allowed. What's not possible is player 2 color, which they did at the ending here. Really frustrating. For that, I'm tempted to put it low. Like, why would you ruin your level by doing that? It's a fun level for sure. Where would we place it? I do like some of the later designs in it. But once again, the use of player 2 color at the end really rubs me the wrong way. But we also got to keep in mind, it's literally only on the player 2 color is only at the ending screen, so it's not affecting the entire level. For that, I'm tempted to put it here-ish. Maybe right below orange. Because the level otherwise was really, really well done. Fun level, really cool stuff. I would honestly put it next to Insomnia Dreams if it wasn't for that player color usage. If Scalia played real OG 1.0, he'd make history. Yeah, so would a lot of other people, though. Like, we talk about levels like Fex by Durian Head, which happened in 2.1 before I even decided to build 1.0. That level was revolutionary. Of course, it also did not use fully 1.0 features. So, alright, gonna move on unless there's any other comments for Skyline. Next level is Sour Cream. This is by Just Cody. Just Cody is a frequent 1.0 peruser. I don't know if that's the right word, but they make a lot of 1.0 stuff. Okay, that's a blind tap. Not a huge fan of that. Got some really interesting saw designs. Of course, heavy use of the 1.0 default block at the transition there. Not a huge fan of that, but this is really fun. Pretty flat gameplay-wise, though. Did you notice I was kind of on just 2 planes in the upside-down part? But the planes weren't connected. I think that was maybe a missed opportunity. Oh, interesting obstacles there. Really simple 1.0 past some of the air deco details. Like I said, the gameplay kind of feels kind of flat on its planes, but it's also got some really interesting elements. Interesting on the place for sure. All right, where would I put that? My first initial thought is to put it kind of at the top of good. I'm going to start by putting it up there. I don't know if it was better than... I'd say maybe better than Balancer. Because like I see arguments made for excellent. There's a lot of cool designs there, but there's also a bunch of designs that were like... The air deco design was great. The block design was kind of substandard. So I actually might put it below Balancer. No, put it below Balancer. I do think King K's levels did a better job overall of what they wanted to do. Sour Cream felt a little flat in a lot of elements. Like, I think if it had more, a little bit better block design and a little bit more gameplay variation, like in heights and stuff. Or not in heights, but like less flat structuring, I think is a better way to say that. I think it could definitely be an excellent. Mid-excellent, even. As it stands, though, I think this might be top good. I see Alex agreeing, and okay, so it looks good, so we're gonna move right on. Keep in mind, we have not had a demon level yet. So, next up is water level. This was created by BRZZVN. I think they might have changed to W. Brishiri. Now, W. Brishiri is a actually really good 1.0 creator. They haven't built a lot of levels, though. Let's take a look what they did here. Yeah, this is classic. This is very classic of them. This is their classic 1.0 style. Where it's kind of like a landscape. Is the best way to describe it. Interesting. Okay, this gameplay's a little confusing. For being called water level, I'm not seeing a whole lot of water. That's my initial thought here. Into the sky. We're using a lot of default block here. We do have good decoration around it, so I think it's passable. Oh, we have to hold there. That's a cool sync idea. I like that. That's very clever. Yeah, is that a secret route? I don't think so. Yeah, that kills you. Okay. I certainly feel like it could have done more, but I think what it does do, it does pretty well. So I'm thinking it goes in excellent for my initial reaction. Let me move it up here. I'd say maybe there. Well, I honestly think Sparkling did a better job. I don't know. No, I'll put it right next to the Oasis Dune, guys. Actually, I might have done better than that. But what I hear. We agree with this. Kind of fourth and excellent. I think that's a good spot for it. GD Fun Life, you have to put levels on the account. You have to give them You have to pass some unlisted. So already uploaded levels don't qualify for the account. You have to make a level, then pass it unlisted, which will then get added if we decide to accept it. So if you deleted the level off your account and re-uploaded it as a unlisted level, you could get it on the account. But that's if we decide to accept it as such. All right, I see people agreeing, so we're gonna move on to the next level here. Now remember, we do have some really cool levels coming up. The last 10 has some awesome stuff. All right, this is a level created by Supermint. It's the 40th level. It is not an event level, though. Event level 3 is coming up. So here is Herald. Sync feels a little off, a little bit. Very classic. Not a whole lot of space filled in. There's nothing wrong with classic either. This is what this project was meant for, was anyone could submit classic levels that be put on. Or any 1.0 levels they didn't want on their account. Hang on, I just saw Insidious is streaming. He has not played Polar Plunge yet, so I should submit that into his stream. Give me 1 second. All right, and if you have nothing to submit, you could also send in Polar Plunge just to make sure we get that seen. I don't know. Well, if you don't know, Polar Plunge is my level of 40 cents. It's still not rated. Yeah, we got some interesting, like, designs here in motion. Overall, though, it just feels pretty substandard. Nothing amazing. Few things that I don't like. Where do we put this? I'm thinking it's not I don't think it's worthy. I do think it's like I might. Ooh. I think I'm gonna put it right above Stay Inside Me. I'm not gonna put it. Oh, I could put it above Fear of Change. Might do that. We did have. Yeah, I'll put it above Fear of Change. I think they certainly could have done a little bit more, but I don't think they need to either, because this is a project where you can just submit whatever you want. So, even though more was a potential possibility, I think what they did was awesome for this project. Regardless. Little disappointing level 440. Supermint has created some really cool stuff. They made El Dorado in 1.0, which was awesome. All right, we're now to the last 10, and we've got a combination of kind of like everything here. Got some really good stuff, some really short stuff, and some stuff that we might get another is my expectation here. We'll have to see. But let's take a look. Next level is Plains by Scorch XP, the other admin of my Discord server. My understanding was he started a level and just never finished it. So, but yeah, let's take a look at what this level is. I'm starting to get bad FPS now, so we have to hurry this up. I'm not a huge fan of the design choices here. Oh, sorry, I'm totally derping here. I'll restart. Yeah, to see how much the default blocks use, I don't think that looks awesome. Okay, that's not the 1.0. That's not the 1.3 block. Yeah, there's some great structuring, but for how short it is, it also just kind of ends in the middle of the song. Yeah, I think this might be another eh. I think if it was longer, it'd warrant a good. But right now, that's not. There's not a lot going on here. Yeah. Where to put it in at, though? I might put it above Eurodancer. I do think Retro Love has enough like progression, especially at the beginning. I do think Retro Love does a better job than Plains did. Once again, Scorch, this is no hate against your level. I think it's honestly, if it was longer, I would love it. Right now, it's kind of just works for the project. Don't really know how I feel about those short levels either. No, I like it. Got some cool ideas in it. Just too short, in my opinion. Yeah. And around this time, King K was actually kind of running out of levels. I know, for instance, when he got here, it was pretty much like ran dry. So, Geometrical Domination. This is a level that I did some fixing. GD Fun Life, if you make a 1.0 level, join our Discord. When you have it, if you send it unlisted, you can send it into the 1.0 community project submissions, and then King K or I will look through it and determine if it's worthy of adding. And if we accept it, then you'll get a special role for being a part of the community tab or the community account. Okay, so I did fix this one up a little bit. This one had a lot of visibility and gameplay issues. I don't know if I fixed them all. We'll have to see. The moment. It is a remake of Geometrical Dominator. It does do its own thing with it, which is interesting. Ultimately, though, it is a Geometrical Dominator remake. Still have a bit of blind jumps that I didn't patch that well. Oh, yeah, okay, I am. Got some interesting ideas. Ultimately, it feels empty and maybe a little not as well executed as other levels are. This was added by King K, the swirlies. Yeah, this is the cloud part. Like, there's cool ideas here. I just don't think they're executed the best. And for a main level, it feels really all over the place, you know, for a main level remake. Not a bad thing. It's definitely their own take on it, which I do really appreciate. Got some really nice ideas going on here. Now, you see all these little pulsey circle things? I added those, okay? Because this level... This part used to be blind completely, okay? Apart from a couple background flashes, which was really unfair. This part's really cool. I like how I can enter some of the structures. This is a weird level. It's a remake, but it does its own thing. But at the same time, it kind of just, it goes into like some of the cliche ideas, like the rocket part avoiding a few obstacles. And that blind part, now that I fixed it, is a lot better to play. Even still, though, the overall execution, I just don't know. It's not great. So I think it's between this border for me personally. I would love to hear what y'all have to say about it. Because if it did more because it had some interesting design elements. If it did more of that with better execution, I could definitely see this as a very solid good. At the moment, though, we have a lot of basic designs that kind of feel a bit all over the place. So I can see an argument for right here. Question is, is it worthy? I don't think so, personally. I think it does do enough, especially with the fixes I made. Because if I didn't fix the memory part, I would definitely put it in there. But I think the fixed memory part does do enough to warrant a good rating. So I'm going to put it right here. Unbattleable, a lot of the beginning was basically ripped directly from the level or very similar to it. And then, of course, the memory section. But it's not like a direct remake. More of like an inspired remake, like how people would do if Hubstep was level 1 back in 1.9. Alright, we'll leave it there for right now. Alright, we've got 7 levels left. Pixel Rave by Alex Birder. Worst 1.0 level. Well, we'll take a look here. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this design. Yeah, I'm really not a fan of these designs. I think we already know that, though. The background's interesting. Very abstracted. Gameplay's pretty fun overall. We are syncing to the kick and some of the extra sounds. I do think maybe a bit more sync could have been nice. Oh, yeah. Yeah, your gameplay is pretty good. The decorations, nah, I don't like it. I'm not gonna say it's bad. I personally don't like it. Man. My inclination, I would put it maybe top of Maybe I'm being a bit too harsh there. I just really don't like when people just use the classic 1.0 block everywhere. You're thinking above Skyline? I think that's too high. Skyline had some really interesting designs, okay? LK is saying low good. Maybe, yeah. Anyone else have any thoughts? If not, I'll keep it in low good. It's an edge case for me personally. I do think the gameplay does warrant it a lot, and is sync to it. So I think, yeah. I might actually put it above Geometry Domination. I like the gameplay in the sync better than that one. Now, to be fair, Alex Birder had a level that never got accepted called... What was it called? Alex, do you remember this level that didn't get accepted? It's called, Dash It, I think. I actually really liked Dash It. Especially with the edits I did. to help make it a little bit more consistent decoration-wise. I'm very disappointed that King K did not accept Dash It. I think Dash It's a little better than Pixel Rave, in my opinion. Dash It, I would rate a solid, like, mid-good. Dash It's really, really fun. No, it's all good. Great level for the project. We love to see project levels. Now we get to our event level 3. Not tomorrow. It is misspelled. We ignore that. Color 89 for the peak experience. I have no idea what color that is. So we're going to play Blind Man's Bingo while we try to find this color. 106. Okay. For 89. 65. 45. There's 79. There's 80. If you're going to specify a player color, please specify what color it is instead of just saying a number. $87, $86. There it is. The 10 gauntlets color. That took so long for me to find. Now, this level I think is going to be an instant fantastic. This is by Torinware, one of the best 1.0 creators in terms of, like, design, I would argue. Or, like, surreal designs. Sorry, geometrical designs. Torinware is a fantastic build with geometrics, or geometrical things. That did not come out the way I wanted it to, but already we're seeing very, like, symmetrical shapes. Nice calm gameplay to reflect the calmness of the song, with some calm pulses when needed. Look at those pillars. Like, the optics of that and, like, the shaping of those. That's insane. Only Torinware could pull something off like this. Like, that is just gorgeous. This part's kind of meh. A little hard to see the black. See, a little hard to see it, but... it's misspelled, but that's fine. Lovely. Torinware is one of the most talented builders I have seen in this game. Reminds me of the Furim created 1.0. I think this is an instant fantastic for me. I'd actually put it right below Decisions, maybe, because Decisions just, the replayability of Decisions is crazy. But I think it's an easy second place for me. High excellent. I don't think I agree with that. I think this does enough to put it in fantastic, personally. And I think it does a better job than my levels do. Like, it's pretty rare for me to, like, be mind blown by 1.0, and almost every single time I am, it's by Torinware. Torinware is fantastic. I could have just read this guy's comment. That level is absolutely heat. Okay. So now we are on to the final 6 levels. Flying Home by NLK. This is NLK's second level for the account. If you don't know, he uses Chris songs for every single one of his levels. I think it's better than Bouncy Green Ball, personally. It's very clean. Bouncy Green Ball is a little messy. Quite messy, actually. I wish I made it a little bit more clean cut. Alright, here's Flying Home. I really like the propeller designs on these single blocks. Because you're getting, like, references to the song's theme throughout. Gameplay's pretty fun. Pulses are great. Designs are interesting. Not very complex, though. Got some more like cloud shapes. NLK's entries are always really good at pulsing. I think those are supposed to be turbines. Hey, we have an actual flying home. We got flying homes. I think it's supposed to mean that you're going home by flying, but the flying home interpretation's interesting. Oh, it's purest restrictions besides song. Very curious. Alright, where do we put this one? I do think the designs overall could have been more interesting, but I love how it ties in with the music. The way that he decided to design it. I'm personally thinking... This is the thing. I like sparkling more. I might put it right below sparkling. But... Well, because Flying Home does have is it has like a lot better representation. So maybe that does bump it up. Maybe up there. I think it does a better job than Oasis and Dune does at its representation. Maybe we go there for it. I don't know, it's a hard one to rate. I would love to see what y'all have to say. Well, it's not in 2x speed. That is still normal speed. I think a lot of it, the song intensity can make things feel faster or slower. Also, if I'm lagging, that can also make it feel like I'm going faster. Alright, do we have... Are you okay with this placement? I know Alex said hi, excellent, but I haven't really seen anyone else say anything. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I frankly think this is a good spot for it in high excellent. I love its representation. I do really like sparkling. That might just be personal bias. Okay. We have 5 levels left, and they're pretty peak. First up, difficulty terrain by kinda experts. This one has some really interesting gameplay that's also really difficult. For the bouncy ship part, aim for the jump indicators. It's going to be very helpful. I'm lagging really bad because I'm not streaming. Okay, let's try that again. My FPS is now really low. Okay, that's great. Okay, here's I'm gonna exit of the tier list. I'm gonna come back to it. See if that bumps my FPS up. No. Dang it, we're back to the situation where I'm at 30 FPS perpetually. Hang on, let me restart my game. See, after I stream for a while with the double Windows setup, it doesn't want to go any higher than 30 FPS. It gets really taxing on the computer. So I'm going to try restarting my game, see if that helps. Might have helped a little bit. It's still just ticking down. Alright, well, let's play it. Like with most things with most things kind of expert, it's very synced to the music between both the ground and the background, which is something I love to see. So far, really cool designs, really fun gameplay. And here's the dreaded bounce pad parts. This gameplay is not very fun in my opinion. This is really hard. Like, there's no reason this should be this hard. And again, kind of experts kind of been pushing the difficulty of these type of levels. See ya, Alex Birder. So, the decision making is, where do we put this level? Because looks really cool. Is way unbalanced. Because that bounce ship pad part is crazy. Hello, let me load my template, please. Don't click on anything. So I'm kind of thinking, honestly, way down here. I think the unbalancedness of it puts it very low excellent instead of high excellent. Do we agree with this spot? We're almost done, y'all. We got just, I think, 4 more levels. Hopefully my computer can handle it. Do we agree with this placement? Not seeing a whole lot of chatting, so I'm just going to keep going in an effort to get through all of this. Okay, next step. I'm going to need y'all's help for this. This is a level I made, so I cannot be the judge of. So y'all need to judge it for me. This is Crash Landing by me. I made this level because I hosted the 1.0 Purist contest, right? And I never actually made a Purist 1.0 level, which is a level that's in 4K objects, doesn't use free rotate, uses an in-game song, all of that. So this level is adhering to the 1.0 Purist limitations. I also have an interesting concept that If you're on a mobile device, you can participate along. If not, you can tilt your head. But we're going to tilt your head to the left or rotate your device if you're at the prompts. So be ready for that. I'm going to play this in normal mode. I know it's easy enough. Rotate device here. Tilt your head as we're going sideways. All right, and you can return your head now. Okay, so that's the level. Keep in mind that is purist requirements. So that is under 40. That is in 4K objects. That it obeys the height and X limitations of the updates. All that. It is a bit short, and that's because I ran out of objects. But what do we think? With someone saying easy, fantastic. I don't know if I agree with that, but we got 2 fantastics. Okay, well, I guess I'm putting it in the bottom of fantastic. Cool gimmick. Mid-high excellent. I don't know if I'd put it in fantastic. Although it does use a really creative concept. It's also really short. I don't know. Just gonna take the average. Easy, fantastic. Bottom of fantastic. Mid-high excellent. I guess I'll put it there. I don't know. I'm gonna put it. I'll put it right above Hexon. I personally don't think it can be fantastic. It uses designs I've already kind of used in other levels, although it's done in a very limited way. I had to really flex my optimization skills to make it pull that off, but I'm gonna put it there. Kind of near the top of excellent. I just don't think it's a fantastic. Okay. 2 more. Sorry, 3 more. These 3 are very good levels. These 3 are like most recent to like round out 50, and they do a great job. Got what I would call NLK's best level, in my opinion. God Complex. Actually gonna switch back to my yellow. I'm getting kind of sick of this murky, dark steel color. My FPS is tanking. Notice how good the pulses are and how clean the designs are.
God Complex.
It keeps the energy up so well. Some really good designs here too. Yeah, it does use the wrong enter trigger, and for that I do think it's not fantastic. But I personally... I put it here. This is probably my favorite of the Enola K contest or Enola K community submissions. Oh, you can't see. I did not turn it on. Sorry. I'm putting it right here. I personally think it does such a good job of energy capturization as well as subtle but cool block designs, music sync. It's quite fantastic. So this is where I'm putting it. Any thoughts on that? Unbattable, Classy Jello, you got any thoughts on this? G Fun Live? If not, I'm going to keep moving because I got to get done with this soon. Because I got to get ready to go. Okay, this is Freak Show by Kinda Expert. Hot Pink is recommended. This is the hardest level in the community project. It is also the only demon. The only level requested for demon. So let's take a look at it. I imagine I'm going to drop frames here quite quickly. Now, this color is not a different color. That is the hot pink pulse rod stacked on top of each other to get that white, which is a really clever usage. This design's very interesting, in my opinion. I don't like how my computer's lagging so bad. Song's not that appropriate. But like the designs of this is fantastic. Here's where the gameplay gets a little rough. Here's also where my frames are deciding to give up. Great, I love this. Ugh, I hate gameplay like this. I hate more that my computer's deciding to lag the worst at the hardest section that we have today. Yeah. This is the final stream. Yes, NetFedEx. Okay. Placement. Gameplay is hard, but I don't think it's bad. I think with it's the general composition puts it in fantastic. Very bottom of fantastic, though. I don't think the gameplay's quite unbalanced. Yeah, gameplay's a little rough. I do think it's still a fantastic. I think the gameplay, being a little unbalanced, when you actually have frames, it can play decently well. I didn't have the frames to play that very efficiently. So, I'm putting it there. Give me your thoughts on that, please, before we finish this out with Ancient Relics, which is the 4th event level. Oh, you can't see it. That'd be my bad. Sorry. Here it is. Sitting at the bottom of Fantastic. I apologize. I'm starting to lose streamer brain right now. Bottom of Fantastic. Do we agree? I think it deserves it. I think it does enough music sync-wise as well as decoration-wise. And gameplay looks fun even though it's hard. Just above Drillin. I could see that too. Hey, 1.0 community is not done yet. We're still going to get more levels, I imagine. Yeah, okay, here's the issue. Drillin's gameplay is very solid, and I think. Because Freak Show's gameplay is really unbalanced. So, I think I'm going to put it right below Drillin. Personally. Yeah, NetFedEx. I'm happy to see it when it comes out. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. We're going to move on to the last level here. It's Ancient Relics. We're using light brown as the P1 color here. So I'm going to use that. Maybe. Use this brown. Is that light enough? I don't know. Light browns, we'll do that. Okay. So this was actually recently sent for feature by Nexter, I believe. Unless it got sent again. Because I'm seeing comments 19 minutes and 7 minutes ago. We'll have to see. Yeah. So this isn't dead. This is just more of like a good stopping point where I could do the tier list. I was actually planning on doing this with 30 levels, but that did not fall through. Anyway, here's Ancient Relics. I forgot to see who it's by. By Zypher. Zypher is an excellent builder. As you can see, it's already fantastic in every aspect. Excellent star designs. I haven't seen star designs this clean before. So it holds good neoclassical roots, even though it's being very deco heavy. Insane sync here. And look at this part. The castles in the background are so cool. Background's light enough to make it look white, which is really cool. Oh, I didn't go high enough. That's the only part I don't like because it's very unclear. Well, there we go. Ancient Relics. Where to put it? I don't know if it's better than Decisions. That's the issue. Do we think that's better than Decisions? Because it is the final level of the first 50. It's either sits here or here. I think I'm going to put it here because Decision... Well... Hey, Nitro, we're just finishing this up. I can see an argument for being first. Although Decisions is really cool. Like, I know, see, no, in all case, it's top of Fantastic. What do y'all think? Give me some input. Do we think this is top of Fantastic or right below Decisions? Remember, Decisions is a level that has 120 ways to play it. Nitro, I did not put my own levels at the top. That was the community input. I did not have any input in that, except for where Freak Show went. And instead of if Freak Show went above or below Drillin. All right, I'm seeing some people saying best, so we'll put it at the very top of the list. Now, is there any level in particular that you remember that would want to move? Oh no, I'm seeing someone saying second best. Oh, come on. I think I'll put it at the top. I think I'll put it as the best. I really like the level. So yeah, that's our tier list. I'm going to make sure to get this into the Discord. But, yeah. I enjoyed getting to work on this with y'all. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of the game. I'll stay on the tier list for us. Just so I can decrease some of this lag going on. Apologies for the frame rate drops. When I reach an hour and a half of 2 Windows modes open, it becomes quite problematic. But yeah. Any last minute changes? Because I'm actually really quite happy where things have been placed here. Although, I would maybe move my levels, I don't know. Or maybe move a couple more into Fantastic. I don't know. I think this is a good placement overall. Nitro, I have not even started the video construction for that. It's going to take a while. This was my priority this weekend, was these streams. And especially with my girlfriend leaving for a year, it's after the end of this month. I have to spend as much time as I can with her. So I'm gonna try to leave some time out for video creation, but it's one of those things where I'm not even sure how to start. I'm not great at this YouTube thing. All right, if there's no other comments about it, I'm gonna go ahead and end stream. Thank you so much for being here and sorting through stuff with me. This was a fun activity to do. Congratulations to the 1.0 community project for reaching 50 levels in total. I really enjoy pretty much all of these levels. These are all great submissions. It's so good to see everybody else's interpretation of Simple 1.0 and being able to contribute to something that's larger. It's so cool. Here's the hope for another 50 or so. I'd happily add to this list at like 75. We'll have to see. But yeah, thanks so much for joining. Have a good rest of your day or week. I'm going to end it here. Goodbye. If you want to look through everything again, this will be up in my VODs.